How to replace a speaker on a Kia 2016 Forte. Kia Forte 2016, whatever. Okay, first thing is you're going to need Flathead, Phillips, and any tool that can be used to pry open your door, to pry off the clips, plastic. Okay, first thing we're gonna do, Flathead, come here. We're gonna remove this little plastic thingy. Here you're gonna use the flathead to kind of pry it open like that. And you're gonna find a Phillips in there. We're gonna remove that. Okay. Phillips. One here. Use your flathead. Pry from this angle. Like that. It just pops out, even though it sounds harsh. Don't worry, your car's fine. One more Phillips in there. Okay, now we use our pry tool. Come to this angle. You want to look for a spot that's kind of gapped in this plastic. So I see a little gap here. I'm going to try to sneak in there. There, snuck in. You're going to feel where the clips are, like there. You're going to kind of pry. If that doesn't work, try a little further down. Hold on, this almost came out. There we go. This one's not coming out. Okay. We're gonna go down here. We're gonna start prying. It's just separating. You definitely want to have enough room. Okay. Now you just give a nice little tug on the door, like this. Just a nice little tug. Here's the one that was giving me trouble. Okay. You hold on to the door, and then you lightly look here, and you see that you have your this connected. We're not going to disconnect that right now. We're just going to disconnect the door panel, the window switch, and just kind of pulls out gently. Looks like that. You just kind of push in this as it yanks out from this gray connector. Don't forget where it goes. Okay. You don't want to put too much stress on this because they're plastic and these can pop out. So be very gentle and very careful. You're just gonna lean it down and with your knee, leave it there. Good. Okay, here's your speaker. You're gonna disconnect the speaker. Get a little thing here. The speaker is in its own housing. So you're gonna wanna remove the 4 screws that connect the speaker with its own built-in housing. It's glued in. So we're gonna take this speaker inside and work on it. Okay, just lean it gently here. Just gently. You don't have to touch it. There we go. Okay, over here on this side, you have screw and screw. Let's remove it. Let's go inside.
Go.
Okay, so this speaker is actually glued in. We're gonna try to do it in the least destructive manner. You are gonna have to solder in the new connections, which is why we have the soldering machine out here. So we're gonna disconnect as close as we can. Unplug the speaker. Okay. Now we're gonna remove this protective buffer cover. And for that, you will need a flat. You have to get in and twist to pry open just a little bit. Each side, there's 4 sides. You don't need it, but I want to save it because I like having that extra cushion. Okay. Now we're gonna do something interesting. we're gonna use a pry tool to kind of pry around it. So we lift gently. Saw kind of went to the side that we already got. You don't want to do it too fast or too hard or you will break this little thing. Don't ask me how I know. But it's not necessary. Okay. What it does is keep space between your door and the speaker so when it bumps, it won't, you know, it gives it a little bit of extra space. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna cut here. And here. This is a very good speaker, to be honest, to be stock. It has that rubber, so no se va a reventar, but it's still paper, so it's not the best sounding quality. Like, you don't get that loudness, but it looks like it will last a long time. It's just not the best. So they were going for a long-term design, not really sound quality, which I like it. It's a very good plastic or rubber. I'm gonna cut. You don't have to be very neat about it. You just have to cut. And I think my scalpel isn't very sharp. That's why I was having trouble. Obviously, if you're doing this, you're committing to speakers. Is it worrying?
Yeah.
You're like, Eric's ruining my car. Okay. So now, here's where you get the three. You're gonna use one of these little guys. And you're gonna cut around it, so. So we need the housing because you want to use the connector. You don't want to do anything janky. Speaker's gone. We are committed. You can still peel this off if you want. It doesn't have to have any thing, or you can keep it as a cushion. I peeled it off on some of them. I left it on. I don't think it made a difference, but we don't need a cushion. Okay, so I already have my speaker prepped and ready to go. You got positive and negative. So the negative is actually relative to what the connector is. So positive is on the left, negative is on the right. So you just connect them as direct. We got fortunate, so you just more or less put it in. And these speakers have little flaps, so I'm just gonna put them with the flaps. They kind of sit in perfectly in the flaps. So just put them in the middle, rotate upside down. You can see where they are. So you have that there, and I'm gonna solder like that. Before I solder though, I wanna put the speaker in permanently so it doesn't fall out. Here's where you're gonna have to get risky. You're gonna drill a hole at an angle, and you're going to, I'm gonna start here. This one looks easy. Just at a little angle, it's a slight angle. So you grab. So you mount your speakers just right. See that? Falls right in the middle. Okay. I'm gonna put our speaker back. And you're gonna put in a screw. So you can use any screws that you have. No one's gonna see this. Just put it in. Nice and tight. It's not going to affect the speaker in any way, as long as you don't get a long one. Permanent. Okay. Now we're going to solder these connectors. So I just wanted to show everybody my awesome soldering station. As you can see here, it says Soldering. So you know it's professional. Okay. Just a little bit of flex. I already pre-tinned these, so I did this last night because it was easier. Okay, and then this one. Okay, we're done soldering. So speakers in there, in the housing. Now we just need to put the little thing on. It's not gonna fit perfectly because we put screws and the speaker isn't original. So we're going to tape it because it's just there to keep some space. So you're going to tape it up, tape it up. It's like a washer or a spacer. Okay. Beautiful. I'm going to find these guiding pins, and I think these pins make it really easy to install your speaker. Plug it in. Okay. Hold it there. Stay right there. Phillips. It's plastic on plastic, so try not to strip the screws. There's a lot of plastic in your car, but I think it helps for sound dampening. It's not bad because if you need to replace parts, they're really cheap. Like your entire door is just hanging on by clips and 2 screws right here. So it's kind of funny. Okay. Before you put the door in, get closer. You want to get in here. You want to make sure that you plug this in. Okay. And make sure your door still works. Make sure this hasn't gotten loose because if you put too much tension on this, this will pop out. And I got scared and I thought I almost broke it. But this can easily be replaced, so it's kind of cool. Like, they made it really cheap and easy to fix. Okay, so try to line up where the holes are. So I'm using this hole here, this hole there. Just try to more or less find it. You found it. Pop one in. Okay, now the other side. You gotta find a hole. Here's one. Pop it in. Can I find it? Yeah, up here. Okay. Just give it a nice tap. Okay. Now the 2 screws. You also want to test that your handle feels right before you close it up. Yeah, feels good. Okay. Start closing it up. And this guy in here. Once you know, it's really easy. Super easy. I'm glad I could do this all day. Okay. Now let's test it out. Let's see if we did it right.